It is August 25th, 2025, and we have reports of underwater UFOs. This is Inverted World Live. And that's the whole show, guys. Tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and we'll be back for 30 seconds. You are at the right place, though. This is Inverted World Live, and I may or may not be Shane Cashman. We will figure that out later. That was hilarious. Brandon, before we talk about callers, what's up? How are you?
What's going on, guys? I fat thumbed the intro outro button, so we accidentally left before we got here, but this is a huge week. We are back. Yeah. We have our 100th episode coming up this weekend, so, Thursday, close to weekend, so I decorated. Yeah. Got a nice Let's Go Brandon flag back here. Shane, I could not find anything that said Let's Go Shane for you, so I actually made you a gift.
Oh, really?
If you want to reach down under your desk there.
Was it this?
Yeah, no. There's Yeah, that's it right there.
This?
That's it right there.
Look at that, guys.
So I made Shane a sign. It says heck yes for Shane. I know he's a clean cut man of the cloth, so we kept it clean. I put holy frack on there because you got the number 100 on there.
Amazing. I love it. I can't believe it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Got just 3 more episodes until the big 100, which I also pointed out that neither myself nor Alex have done 100 episodes. She's still got more than me because she's had to cover for me for a few times.
Wow.
But I slid in right around episode 50, 51.
Yeah.
So we're right about halfway there. But Shane is coming up on show 100, and I'm still going to out-celebrate him. I don't care because it's a big deal. We're happy about this.
I'm grading on a curve. So you guys are at 100. You're welcome. I can't believe it's been 100. And I'd like to have some people come on through the studio that night. We'll reach out to some friends and see who can join us either in the room or via Zoom. But man, that flew by. That's crazy. When you hopped into the ship, we were at episode like 50, 51, I think was your first official. That flew by.
Yeah. And I think I did 2 episodes as a guest before that.
Yeah. Yeah. They were
and
fun.
then she's covered for me for probably at least 2 or 3 shows because all that shit I had to deal with. So
yeah, it was brutal. But
getting close.
Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Brandon. Both Brandon and Alex learned how to do this show so quickly without having really any experience in this environment. I mean, Alex had her own thing as she knew. She was making a lot of clips and she helped me with audio engineering, the earlier versions of Inverted World. Brandon knows a lot about audio just from so many years in a band and doing that. And both of them were kind of thrust into this situation some last minute. And as we changed the show and the format, and so I am incredibly grateful to Brandon and to Alex for everything that you guys have done on the show. But I'll say more on that on the 100th episode. I can't believe it's 100. But for those who are just now joining us, I'm glad you're here. This will be a call-in show in about 30 or so minutes. Our link to call-in will be pinned in the chat on Rumble and YouTube. If you have a weird story you want to share with us, if you've seen something you just can't get off out of your mind, if it haunts you to this day, there's no theme to what the call should be. It's totally open-ended. We typically never know who's calling in, though sometimes we might have an idea who's calling in. Like tonight, hopefully the caller does call in.
Oh, you can't spoil it.
I already spoiled it on IRL.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. So if you were watching IRL, you heard me say it, and you might have heard Phil scream in joy.
Oh, no.
yeah, within 30 seconds of the episode.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that he was going to catch wind of that.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's going to be super stoked to get home.
Yep. So we're excited for that. And so call in. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be here till midnight. And I'm still catching my breath as I ran over from a really fun IRL with Andrew Wilson and Pozo, Jack Posobiec hosting. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So if you guys are joining us now after watching IRL, we're glad you are here. Have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
I think that is everything. So where do we start? We're going to start with these underwater crafts. I saw this article today in Popular Mechanics, of all places. It says, Navy officer says underwater UFOs are legitimate threats. The evidence is hard to ignore. Let's get into this. We got a little they gave us a little photo of when you do pull it up, let's show the people this wonderful AI photo. It's all we ever get. The best photos of UFOs are always the AI ones these days.
Yeah, this I gotta re-add this link really quick.
Yeah, no, take your time. Take your time. I'll start reading.
Only take me a second.
But this UFO is emerging from the water, and that is something I think is there's something going on underwater. I don't know if it's exactly what other people think it is, but I think there's something going on down there. Anyway, in mid-2014, during training flights off the coast of Virginia Beach, Virginia, FA-18 pilot and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Ryan Graves began to notice something strange. Take a look at that photo, AI rendition of what we are talking about. The radar returns looked off phantom blips. Is that what it says? Looked off phantom blips moving with unfathomable speed and precision. At first, he dismissed it as a glitch, but then the anomalies returned, recorded by the fighter jet's sophisticated sensors. They would hover in place and then dart away at supersonic speeds. They were recorded from the ocean's surface to 40,000 feet. That's pretty wild. Sometimes stationary at 0.0 Mach, other times 250 to 350 knots, sometimes even supersonic at 1.1 to 1.2 Mach, all altitudes and always over the ocean, Graves says. After appearing only as glitches on the jet's radar, the objects on one occasion finally came into view. Graves reported seeing a dark gray or black cube. You guys know about black cubes if you've been tuning into the show. Anyway, he saw a dark gray or black cube inside a clear sphere between 5 and 15 feet in diameter, coming within 50 feet of their jets. That was the turning point, Graves says. We started treating it as a safety issue. You think? That's a pretty wild thing to see. Over the next year, Graves' squadron recorded sightings of unidentified objects almost daily. Sometimes the objects flew in loose formations. Other times they traveled alone. They had no exhaust, no visible propulsion, no wings. Sometimes the object would rotate in place. Others vanished when approached. As it turned out, pilots stationed off the West Coast on missions aboard the USS Nimitz, the USS Princeton, and other carriers had been experiencing similar things for years. Some of these craft, now classified as UAPs, which is, for those who don't know, unidentified anomalous phenomena, appeared to be capable of transmedium travel, meaning they are able to move from air to sea without slowing, splashing, or emitting heat. They challenged every assumption held by aerospace engineers and radar operators. Graves doesn't claim to know what the objects were, but one thing was clear. This wasn't business as usual, he says. There was a serious issue at play. It wasn't just one rogue object. It was just us on the East Coast. It wasn't just my squadron. It was a pattern. This was global, he says. Since at least the 1950s, military sources have reported strange objects plunging into the ocean, what they call USOs, unidentified submerged objects. These phenomena exhibit characteristics that conflict with our understanding of physics and maritime navigation. As radar and similar technologies have advanced, so have the number of sightings. Today, Graves is one of the most vocal advocates for UAP transparency. Now retired from the military, he's the founder of Americans for Safe Aerospace, the largest UAP-focused pilot safety initiative in the world, and works with former Pentagon and naval officials to push for greater transparency. He doesn't claim that these crafts are alien, but he's certain that they aren't using known human tech. Where that leaves us opens up options: extraterrestrial visitors, time travelers, breakaway civilizations, things that challenge the status quo and aren't easily accepted at face value, he says. I am very much into the idea of breakaway civilizations becoming a conversation.
Cats and dogs living together.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Great movie. But yeah, Graves he has been vocal. A lot of people are skeptical of him. I'm one of them. I'm skeptical of a lot of these whistleblowers that come out of the government. Not saying I'm not saying he doesn't believe that he's seeing these things. I think he is seeing things. And I like it that he's saying he doesn't, believe that they might be aliens or not. But, there is something to be said about a lot of people who are whistleblowing with the permission of the government. It's not, in my opinion, a true whistleblower where you're going out and putting yourself in danger. However, I think it might be Graves who said he has been in danger for whistleblowing. So there's an argument to be made against mine. If it wasn't Graves, it was someone else who said after becoming a whistleblower in the UFO community, who was a part of, I think he was in the Navy as well, if it wasn't Graves, another whistleblower. He says that he has been attacked physically by what he believes might be people within the government. So, it's hard to know. Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, PhD, an oceanographer, was one of the first to view footage from the UAP incidents in 2015 involving fighter jets attached to the USS Theodore Roosevelt, which at the time was conducting training exercises off the coast of Florida. 2 videos captured by Navy fighter jets that were made public in 2020 show strange craft flying at incredible speeds with no visible means of propulsion, sometimes rotating in midair. I knew then that what I saw was not our technology. We don't test experimental aircraft in training ranges. It's too dangerous, and I had access to everything classified. No nation has craft that can move like that, he says. And that's where I have a problem, because I just don't know if we can even fathom the things that our government has been creating at places like Area 51. We know about Skunk Works. We know about the Pentagon being caught in lies recently about putting out extraterrestrial information only to block special technology. And I also think it's way possible to take these things off training ranges to test in the real world while people are totally not prepared to see these things. Our own pilots not prepared to see these things, and then gauge that response. Gauge what they saw, how they saw it, how they were able to maneuver around it, how it looked on radar. So I wouldn't dismiss that outright. So this PhD, now retired from the Navy and currently the CEO of Ocean STL Consulting, is pushing for the U.S. government to treat these phenomena as a national research priority. Despite some public disclosures, many records remain classified, buried within defense contractor vaults or shielded by national security exemptions. If even part of what's reported is true, then the encounters off Virginia, California, and elsewhere could be the opening chapter in a much deeper mystery, one that spans oceans, navies, and continents. And I believe they're planning to do a new briefing soon. I want to say it's September 9th. I think Graves might be a part of that. I believe there's going to be a few witnesses to things that they can't explain, to UAP, to UFOs. I hate UAPs. I hate that terminology. The rebranding is silly to me, but that's what they're going to do. But when it comes to the underwater stuff, this is some of my most favorite, the conversation when it comes to the UFOs. In one of the previous hearings about UFOs, they brought up this notion of underwater UFOs, of underwater UAPs. And they were like, we want to talk about it, but it's one of those conversations where we got to do it behind closed doors. And if you heard me talk, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday about this, when I talked to Rep. Burleson, who's on the UAP committee, he says we get behind closed doors and they still can't tell us what it is. I certainly think something's going on below the ocean. Some people think it's extraterrestrials. I tend to think it's us doing things that we can't explain beneath the waters. But
what was with the rebranding thing for UFOs in the first place? Was that just to kind of get away from the stigma that comes with the term UFO?
I mean, I agree. I think that's what it is. I don't think they've actually come out and said that, but I do think that is what it is.
Like, we need a serious way to refer to serious things that aren't UFOs but are UFOs, but we want them taken seriously, even though we know people aren't going to or are going to take them too seriously.
It's like if we eliminate that taboo, then we can talk about it in a way that is more serious. Mm-hmm. Despite the government already looking into this stuff very seriously for decades, they all of a sudden rebranded to UAPs, and the conversation has certainly been ramping up. And we see, all these articles coming out. I mean, look at the stuff we talk about every day on this show. Every day I got something new, like we're going to get to in a second with this, our favorite aggressive probe that's coming towards Earth. Every day there's something new about this probe. So that could be, why? I don't know. I think it's about ramping up the idea that we might be visited by something, and they're going to try to have this existential renaissance brought about by aliens. Now, I don't think it's going to be aliens. I think it's us.
You think it's a dry run?
Yeah,
like a rehearsal.
Yes,
for what they're covering up.
I do. I don't know for sure, but that's what my gut says, is that they're just getting us prepared for this conversation. And it seems like people are interested, but then again, it also seems like people just don't care. I think they care more than they did when, say, the New York Times in like 2013 wrote that article saying that we were in possession of vehicles not made of this earth. No one really cared then. I did. I was doing Inverted World, not I guess in 2013, but I was in the first book of Inverted World. I reported on that story, just being like, why is no one caring about this report in the Times? But now we have, it comes up in every interview with almost every person in this administration. We've seen Tulsi Gabbard ask this question. We see Trump ask this question. We just saw Anna Paulina Luna on Rogan talking about interdimensional beings, something that Alex Jones was mocked relentlessly for not that long ago. And now we have people in government saying it, and saying it with conviction. Of course, they can't show us anything yet, which is super frustrating, but the conversation has certainly shifted. It definitely shifted at the national level in the political world. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that. I kind of, if I can, I would love to try to go to the hearing if it's open to the public. I think it'd be interesting to see that go down in person, because they're fascinating to see these very serious conversations take place about interdimensional beings, about crafts that might be extraterrestrial or Lockheed Martin happening beneath the water. But again, I'm not going to hold my breath for any real answers, because we've all seen these hearings. We see how they play out. But the stories persist, and they're getting crazier and crazier because we've been following the aggressive, hostile probe that is on its way to Earth. Now, look, when this story first broke, it was the same day that Ghislaine Maxwell was being considered for a pardon, or at least it was in the news. And then all of a sudden we shifted to, there's a probe heading towards Earth and it's aggressive. We don't know how it's aggressive, but it's coming here and it looks aggressive. And then the next week it was, it's emitting its own light source. And now they're telling us it's nuclear powered. And this is all coming from Avi Loeb, a Harvard scientist. So I'm already like, you know how I feel about Harvard. But this is from the Daily Mail. This happened on the 21st, just a few days ago. Harvard scientist says interstellar object on course for Earth could be nuclear powered. In latest wild claim. Even the Daily Mail is getting sick of the amount of updates to this story. But Avi's getting a lot of airtime out of it. You're welcome, Avi. Let's hear it. A prominent Harvard astrophysicist has claimed that a mysterious object moving through our solar system could be a nuclear-powered spacecraft. Now, if you guys are just listening, we've got a picture pulled up, and it's a light source in a dark, star-riddled picture here. I don't know what to make of it.
It looks very real to me, Shane.
All those things could be hostile.
This is the most legitimate invasion I have ever seen. Coming our way aggressively. I can see why everyone is terrified. I can see why they think these things are going to be violent when they get here. Just look at them. We're going to be attacked by just glowing cucumbers.
I'm afraid. I mean, the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space had better effects than this. But let's see what Avi has to say. He is the director of the Galileo Project, which hunts for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. He said the interstellar object, known as 3-1 Atlas, exhibits characteristics suggesting it is not a typical comet, contrary to NASA's assessment. Those are two places I just don't trust at all. They're warring. One of those signs is the appearance that the object is generating its own light, suggesting to Loeb that the light comes from a source of nuclear energy on the surface. The light was seen in a recent photo taken by the Hubble Space Telescope on July 21st, which appeared as a glowing area focused on the side of the object facing the sun. And we got that on the top left of the screen here if you're watching. This aggressive light heading towards Earth.
You know what else makes its own light, Shane?
Tell me.
Those fucking Burmese python rabbits.
Is that what you're suggesting this is?
No, either that or the rabbits themselves are also made of nuclear energy.
So we sent the Burmese python hunting rabbits to space, and now they're coming back. Perhaps a breakaway civilization had the same idea.
So the
thousands of years
Burmese
ago.
pythons were a distraction for them sending these rabbits into space to come around and attack us.
I think you're onto something there. This is also coming after last year when the very day I walked into the studio for the first time after being set up. We had our first official Inverted World meeting for the new formatting. Alex was here, and it was a solar eclipse. That was the day that NASA launched the Apophis rockets into the eclipse, and for the god of chaos, Apophis is. And perhaps this is a consequence of that. Perhaps something is coming back. Perhaps it's the god of chaos.
You think we pissed off Apophis?
I think I think Apophis is behind all this. I think maybe he's happy to return. NASA certainly was. I don't
The
know why they did it.
Apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen, is coming.
That's a much better title for this episode.
The Apocalypse.
The Apocalypse. That's a good shirt design, actually.
Hey.
Noting that down.
Write it down.
So, usually for comets, you see a cometary tail trailing the objects from behind because it's being pushed by the radiation from the sun. The dust particles are being pushed to be to lag behind the object, Loeb told News Nation. In this case, what we are seeing is a glow in front of the object. So that is a glow in front of the object we are seeing, according to Avi Loeb. However, not everyone is so convinced, says the Daily Mail. Chris Lintott, an astronomer at the University of Oxford, told Live Science any suggestion that it's artificial is nonsense on stilts. Not just nonsense, it's on stilts.
It's really tall nonsense.
It's really tall nonsense. He added that these claims are an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object. And then if we scroll down, you can see another picture of the light source coming from this nuclear-powered aggressive probe. And then below that is a picture of Loeb looking smug. Look at this. He's remained adamant that something about 3-1 Atlas does not add up. Loeb has admitted the most likely outcome will be discovering that the object is indeed a large comet. What? Similar to the interstellar comet 2I Borisov, which passed through our solar system in 2019. He added that scientists will have a better idea of what 3I Atlas really is as it moves closer to Earth later this year, when other things are happening in the news, and they will determine whether or not this is at the appropriate amount of aggression we need to worry the American people about. What do we need a distraction for? Yeah, it's super aggressive.
Hang on. I need clarification here,
Yes.
Shane, because are all of these lights coming for us, or is it just the one in the middle?
Aren't they all? They look like they're all the same thing. I don't know why that one, because they all look like they're moving towards us.
I just don't want to confuse one thing for another.
Right.
And then, it starts this massive panic of, holy shit, there's 50 unidentified flying LED lights coming at our planet, and they're showing signs of hostility.
Imagine if this year ends like the last one ended, but with the drones, but this time it's from space. And they're going to be like, we got 100 aggressive comets, probes coming our way.
Fucking Space Force.
Space Force.
Let's go.
That's right.
Space Force. It's time. Rally the troops, Shane, as it were.
Yeah.
Get them out there. Call the generals. Let's build a fucking wall in between us and whatever this is. We're good at building walls. Let's do it again.
That is what the firmament is.
I mean, if this is a global issue, if this is really what's going on, a global issue, not national.
Yeah.
This is global security we're talking about, all right?
Yep.
Lex Luthor level shit.
Yep.
And that means we're going to have to get China involved too. They built a Great Wall, man.
Ooh, good point.
Like,
Good
let's
point.
let's build a space wall.
Do we know what China's doing on the dark side of the moon? Allegedly, maybe that's what.
Maybe they're
doing.
getting ready. Maybe there's a little wall being built on the other side of the moon.
Maybe they're trying to get in their good graces first, if it is something. And they're like, hey, we're the good ones here. That's why we're here.
Or they just sent like 2 of everything up like Noah's Ark and just it's all hiding on the moon because they're preparing for this invasion.
Ooh, moon as ark.
Uh-huh.
Now you're talking.
Hey.
That's interesting. Some people do believe it's hollow. So, where was I? The object will make its closest approach to Earth on December 17th. Mark it on your calendars before leaving our solar system in early 2026, unless it lands here. Avi. Until then, Loeb said his analysis remains rooted in observational data, and he's provided graphs to convince you. He explained that the light signature doesn't seem natural because 3I Atlas would need to be over 12 miles long to produce such a bright reflection of light from the sun if it were truly a comet. And it doesn't make sense for such a massive object to be floating around freely between solar systems, the professor added. Just all willy-nilly, this aggressive probe. There isn't enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver a rock of that size earlier than 10,000 years from now. So the question is, what is it? Loeb said. Loeb, have you been there, Loeb? Do you know space to speak so
You've
confidently?
never been?
He's never been. Loeb.
It's bad enough that his name is Loeb.
I know.
I'm having the hardest time with that. Every time you say it, I'm like,
It is gross. It's gross. It's like his name might as well be Moist. Avi Moist. That's tonight's drinking word.
It's such a
Moist.
worse word. Yeah, Moist and Loeb. Guys, throw them on the list.
Loeb, the Frank B. Baird Jr. Every time they mention his name, he's got another qualifier. Like the probe. Much like the probe, this guy, I think he's aggressive with his qualifiers. He also revealed that the object's course through our solar system shows all the markers of being guided by an unknown intelligence. This guy just throws stuff out there. I actually like it. I respect the game. 3I Atlas is projected to follow an extremely unusual path that will take it close to 3 different planets, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. The astrophysicist and UFO researcher explained that the object's course was so rare that the chance of a natural space rock randomly flying around such a path was less than 0.005%, or 1 in 20,000 odds. Is this on Polymarket yet? Are people betting on this on Polymarket? If not, someone should start that. I don't know how Polymarket works. I don't endorse gambling, but I do think it'd be funny to kind of track that with the analytics from Avi Moist. Sorry. It is a terrible word. Terrible word. I'm just saying we should observe it. It doesn't look like it's a random occurrence, he added. Okay, every time he says something new, it's like he's just desperate for us to believe him. But I think it's fascinating. According to Loeb, Luna has already contacted NASA about diverting the Juno space probe orbiting Jupiter to intercept and investigate 3I Atlas. Despite having support from the influential congresswoman, okay, so I must have missed something, but he's talking about Anna Luna. At least one UFO investigator has said that moving Juno would be a bad idea. We're talking about Armageddon. You know, this is Bruce Willis stuff.
Yeah, let's not, use that probe for probing.
Yeah, if you want to be a citizen in this country, you have to go up there and blow up an asteroid. And then perhaps, if you pass the right test, we'll let you be a part of this country.
I mean, Ben Affleck did it.
Yeah, why can't you?
Bruce Willis did it.
Yep.
I mean, what the hell do you have to lose?
Agreed.
You'd be in league with 2 huge Hollywood legends.
Total legends. I just don't think from talking to many astronomers that it's a good idea to go diverting existing spacecraft, for example, Juno, in orbit around Jupiter, or suggesting these are necessarily alien probes with hostile intent, Coulthard told News Nation earlier this month. It's inflammatory, and frankly, there's not a lot of evidence for it, he added. So that's the host of one of the shows on News Nation who covers this stuff extensively. We've pulled up his clips before. Coulthard claimed that Loeb's theory about the interstellar object was born out of frustration with the lack of federal funding going towards projects looking for intelligent life in the cosmos. In May, Loeb was a guest speaker at Congressman Luna's hearing on UAPs, advocating for more resources in the hunt for extraterrestrial signals and UFO detection. And I say, send Loeb. Launch him into space. Give him whatever he needs. See if he comes back.
Well, he's a lobe, so you can just flick him.
That's right.
And he'll just, if you flick him hard enough, he'll orbit.
Yeah, like hitch a ride with Elon. You know, just go up there. I mean, hopefully that one actually makes it up there, you know. But let's go. Interesting. I like Coulthardt's point about the funding because that is exactly how I felt when Doge was slashing everything and there were stories coming out of NASA saying we have comets the size of cities coming towards Earth and they're going to destroy us. And much like this hostile probe, there was like a few weeks there where they said it's one comet, it's two comets, three comets, and then they must have got their funding because I haven't seen a story about it in in a few months.
One comet is fine. Two comets is all right. Three comets, you're playing with yourself.
They were like, all right.
Hands up.
NASA was like, not only are there three comets, but they're all coming for DC. And they're like, you got all the money you need. Take it. So that's today's news. It's been real out there. There's a lot of stuff happening with disclosure real soon. September 9th, I believe, is the day for this new hearing. Could be wrong. I'm going to look into that. That is on a Tuesday. We'll see what comes out of that. We will cover extensively whether I get to go there or not. We will have clips that night to discuss. But let me know what you guys think. Is this aggressive probe something we should be concerned about? Is this part of just a distraction campaign? Is it a demoralization to get you on board with this fake alien invasion? Is Avi Loeb onto something? Is it just for funding? Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. And now we should get to some callers.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite back to Inverted World the great Peyton Cottrell II. You guys know him as Sarge. Mercifully, we'll see if Zoom cooperates here. Sarge, can you hear us?
Yes, Shane?
Hey, Sarge. You're here with Brandon. It is me, Shane. It is Inverted World Live. It's nice to hear from you again.
You too, dude. You too. I wanted to call in and clear up the record on this incoming UFO that's coming towards the Earth in November. I think that's the projected month on the calendar. First of all, two things about it. It's an Andromeda Garret, World War II German starship. They were invented at the very end of World War II. And they took out the diesel engine out of a U-boat and placed a anti-gravity machine in it. And the U-boat turned it on. The damn thing floated. Voila, you have a Andromeda Garret starship.
Can you say that again? What is it? Say it one more time.
Andromeda Garret.
Okay.
Andromeda Garret.
Okay.
G-E-R-A-T.
Okay.
G-E-R-A-T. Andromeda Garret starship. They have the capabilities of traveling among the galaxies, not in weeks, not in months, not in years. Only in 14 hours. 14 hours, and 12 in emergencies. They're piloted with the gray extraterrestrials that use telepathy. Mm. That's something that we really don't know a damn thing about, but they do because their culture has evolved quite differently. Well, within 75 years of living down there, among the hot lava in the caverns of the underground of the South Pole. At Base 211 Antarctica, certified foreign nation, established 1948, peace treaty of Operation Windmill 2. No bullshit. Basically, going back to the UFO, they're on their way to travel back to the Andromeda galaxy. That's where we manufacture the Andromeda Garret starships on the planet Militaria. The reason why we moved all of our starship factories to a different galaxy is because the Chinese government will not stop stealing our machinery, and we're tired of that shit. We are. I'm gonna stop cussing for now. That's
Wait.
Not
Yep. Real quick, Sarge, before we continue, there might be a lot of people tuning in right now who are like, "Who is this?" What is he talking about? So
Sergeant
briefly,
Payton.
Sergeant Payton.
Sergeant Payton.
Yeah, the first time we heard from you, you were telling us that you're a sergeant in the Fourth Reich. You told us about there's 8 million population of the Fourth Reich below Antarctica. We know about the Nazis having their base.
That's correct.
We know the Nazis had their base started there in, I believe, 1939.
Yeah.
And you told us about Hitler on Mars.
38, yeah,
38, sorry.
Yeah, 38, correct. Yeah.
And you're an author of many books, correct?
Yeah, now 68 books. 68 books at Peyton Cottrell the second, Peyton Cottrell Cottrell the second. Again, real fast, Peyton Peyton Cottrell Cottrell the second. I'm 55 years old. I wish like hell I was younger.
Well, okay. So now it's out of the way. I just want to make sure people knew, for those who don't know about the Sarge. Now let's go over again why this is happening. You said they're traveling somewhere.
Yes, Andromeda Galaxy, and this is why the Allied nations are making a big fuss about it. Apparently, and I got this through telepathy from the Fourth Reich. They have definitely, my new nation has definitely evolved quite differently from the USA, quite differently within 75 years. Being almost completely isolated in Antarctica, and we have expanded our empire into the Andromeda Galaxy. We use telepathy, the third eye, our pineal brain gland, to communicate far more than we do what we're doing right now, which is vocal communication. Using our mouths and vocal cord. They know about all that. They don't care about that shit. They know how to use their pineal brain gland or third eye just as well as you and I talking, Jane. Just like that, dude. Just like that.
Just like that easy.
Because they have evolved quite differently.
So
we laugh at it. They don't.
So should we be afraid of this?
Not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, we look like the biggest bunch of basically horses' asses in front of them. We look like a bunch of fucking nerds to them. If they could talk to me and tell you anything, that they would basically say, "Allied nations, shut the fuck up. Get laid, get drunk, whatever, but leave our asses the fuck alone."
So what is
the very idea of an Andromeda Garrett wanting whipping anyone's ass? That's about the same damn thing as asking a giant bunny rabbit who's hopping around, who's basically hopping among the galaxies and saying that a fucking furball bunny rabbit is going to go ahead and pick a fight with the USA. Bullshit.
So what is the Fourth Reich? What is the Fourth Reich making of all of these claims from esteemed Harvard professor Avi Loeb?
I'll tell you why. For lack of a better word, it's jealousy. The United States government they see that the technology in the Fourth Reich is far more and leaps and bounds evolved than anything we have. Do we have any starships or shuttles that can travel from the Earth to for NASA to the Andromeda Galaxy?
Not that we know of.
Not no, but hell no.
You would say definitely not. You think Lockheed Martin is primitive compared to what the Fourth Reich has been building to get to Andromeda?
You damn right they are. I wish it wasn't so, but dude, the Fourth Reich they encompass and they experiment with the UFO technology just as well as we go to church and worship Jesus Christ in churches every Sunday. You dig?
Yeah, I do.
You don't dig?
I love it.
You dig.
I love going to church.
So do I.
I love it's good. It's good for my soul.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's great.
We're all a little bit spiritual.
So, okay, I want to go back. I'm thinking about the moon. Brennan and I were talking about this approach of what Loeb says is a hostile probe, but you're saying is this vehicle.
Not
wrong. So,
hey man, it's like this. If we want to continue to act like a bunch of fucking nerds about a bunch of ashes in front of them, it's horrible diplomacy. But if we're gonna be that fucking stupid, then to go for it.
So what?
I ain't, baby.
So Sarge, what do you think would happen? We discussed in this article that there is talk about going up into space and trying to move these objects. What if we go up there and Space Force attacks the Fourth Reich's vehicle? What happens then?
That would be so stupid. They would do the same thing. And honestly, I don't want to talk about it, but because I've been told that I'm not in a position to do it from the Fourth Reich. But I would but it would be handled the same way as if the fucking Chinese government were so stupid again, and the Chinese government have now been actively stealing. You got it right, stealing. I'm sorry to say, technology from the Fourth Reich. On the moon and also Antarctica, base 211 on the east side underground, about 2 miles underground, since 2018. Oh yeah, and they also actively stole again equipment from a Haunebu starship on Mars. Mars.
So what do you has the Fourth Reich ever had any skirmishes on the moon with the Chinese?
Not on the moon, but they have on Mars, and they have down there in Antarctica. Both fights are highly classified, dude. They're highly classified.
Is there anything you can tell? Is there anything you could share with us as a sergeant?
Yes, I can. I can share you. I can share this with you.
Okay, thank you.
Now, when they stole a Haunebu starship on Mars in 2018, they were pretty fucking slick for a foreign nation. The Chinese. They got a bunch of Chinese who dress themselves up as white people of all the things. This is pretty fucking slick, even for the Chinese to do. They went in there and they lied about saying that yes, we're also Germans too. We look a little bit different, but we're as white as you are. And they found a Haunebu starship all by its lonesome. The freaking pulled a heist on it. And that just shocked the shit out of the Fourth Reich. Any nation, especially a communist nation, will pull a fucking heist on the Fourth Reich. But you got to give the Chinese credit on this. The very idea of them getting dressed up as white people, they had to put them.
It's funny to the Fourth Reich.
Makeup on the damn faces to pull this shit off.
So the Chinese were in whiteface. So. I don't even know where to go with this.
They were, yeah. They lied their asses off, baby. They lied their asses off, baby, and stole a fucking Haunebu
Sarge,
and commandeered it back to China.
Chinese in whiteface.
Reverse engineer it.
Chinese in whiteface stole a Haunebu. For those who don't know what a Haunebu is, could you explain that for those?
No shit. It is pretty fucking funny.
It is not funny. This is serious.
All right, fuck it. It is serious. My bad.
This is serious, dude. What is a Haunebu? Can you tell the people?
Yeah, a Haunebu is basically an extraterrestrial / a human starship that, in order for you to turn on, you got to use telepathy to do all the controls. No bullshit about it. That's why they have the Greys, extraterrestrials, who are very strong friends with the Germans and aren't Germans. At more than 8 million Germans down there in the Andromeda Galaxy and also in Base 211 Antarctica. And they use their telepathy to pilot the Haunebu starships. And this is the part I'm going into this very deeply.
Thank you.
But very very quick. Because we lost the two very last battles of World War II, they're still highly classified. Operation High Jump, 1947. Mm-hmm. They sent out a bunch of Haunebus. They whipped our asses in Operation High Jump, and again we try to fight them as late as 1958 in Antarctica, Operation Argus. Again, they whipped our fucking asses. They are tired of our shit. They're tired of our shit. There we are. You talk about
the Greys and this ability to use telepathy to fly this stuff. Is there a way that you can describe to us how the Fourth Reich was able to harness this telepathy?
Humans not so easily as extraterrestrials. Please understand that the dude, Shane, we're not at all the most evolved species among the galaxies. We're not. Tell me more. And I think you know that.
I don't. That's why I'm talking to you. Tell me more. You're saying it's the Greys?
It's the Greys, yes. There's a species out there that are far more evolved than we are by a long shot. As a matter of fact, I can prove to you right now that extraterrestrials are real. I'm sure that you've heard of what's called in our oceans on the Earth as an octopus. The octopus. You ever heard of that? The octopus?
Like the creature?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, the octopus.
Of course, of course. I don't trust any octopus. I trust no octopus.
A recent DNA has come out, and you can check it yourself. If you go to Google and type an octopus and an extraterrestrial, it's come out that for lack of a better term, some of their DNA is not of the fucking Earth. It's not.
So are
okay?
you drawing a connection between the gray and the lineage of the octopus that's here?
This way. If you follow me here, maybe not, but I'll go ahead and fucking do it.
I'm following
for you. The grays and the octopus are both extraterrestrials. Do you dig or do you not dig?
Oh, I dig.
Got it, baby. Right on. It's all smooth. It's all smooth. I want to tell you that I want to go ahead and congratulate you on the 1,000 episodes that you did. That's great, man. Congratulations on the 1,000 episodes you did on the show.
Thank you, Sarge. You must be a time traveler to know we did it. We're about to hit 100.
It's
but
nice to know we're going to get that
I
far.
imagine Sarge knows the future.
Hell yeah.
And I do appreciate that, Sarge. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So,
and I want to talk about the comments that I got on her last show.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't do cocaine. I don't do that. I saw that. I'm not on cocaine. I don't do that. I'm not that damn colorful. No shit, no. Yeah, I'm as cool and as coy as they say.
No, you sound like it. You sound like it.
As you can get. I'm as cool as a cucumber.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. The Sarge is not into white girl.
So. Are you saying then that the Reich has given up their tradition of drug use? Because I remember back in the day, they loved meth.
And now that's one of the few parts about the Reich that I never explore. I really have no interest in that, but I just don't explore that. But what I do explore is the same thing that they avidly do for the most part. Starship experimentation, exploring different galaxies, and they are the smart ones that went down there. Several millions that went down there, but after we lost, after they lost Russia in 1944. They left Europe without the wishes of Adolf Hitler, and they went on down there to Antarctica. They thought, yeah, we're going to lose this shit. We need to go on down there in Antarctica with or without the blessings of Adolf Hitler. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah. Also, I like to come on the air and talk about the realistic of. A werewolf potion that's real. I'll actually drink a volume or a cup for you in front of you and turn myself into a very cute and giant poodle for you.
That would be great. Can we talk to the werewolf?
He's laughing hysterically.
I'll turn myself into a big damn dog, a fucking poodle for you.
Okay.
Fucking poodle.
So the Fourth Reich, Sarge becoming a poodle, a Fourth Reich poodle.
Yeah, no shit, baby.
You've done this before, right?
Yeah, I have, and I'd like to give a shout out to men. I love Popeye's fried rings. The lovely and proud fried wings of Popeyes. I want to give out a shout out to Popeyes restaurant and also I love Hawaiian Punch. I love Hawaiian Punch.
Sarge, have you picked up a couple of sponsorships since our last show?
Sorry, what?
Have you picked up sponsorships with these companies since our last show?
No, but fuck, man, I'd love to, dude. I'd love to.
Popeyes and Hawaiian Punch, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out.
I'd like to give a shout out also to my old lady.
I was gonna ask.
My lady I'm about to marry on this week, Holly Albertson.
Whoa, Sarge. Whoa, Sarge.
We gotta take it back.
Last time we talked, you said you were getting married that week.
Did you not get married that week? It's this week now?
Yeah.
Okay. We pushed it back.
I couldn't get the money to get up there to Jersey and meet her in person.
but it's definitely happening this week. This is the week.
How does she feel?
yeah.
How does she
yeah.
feel about the
yeah.
fourth? How does she feel about the Fourth Reich?
She loves it. She loves it. She loves it.
Was she willing to
Well,
go
that's
to
different,
Antarctica?
but she likes it.
Is she willing to go to Antarctica?
Yes, she is. Yes,
Okay.
she is.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys get to meet and finally get married. I was wondering what happened with the
Oh, yeah.
nuptials.
Oh yeah, and if you want to, can we do a 1 hour video around Halloween? Around Halloween, if that's possible. Is that possible around Halloween?
I mean, I can't guarantee an hour, but it is very possible that we could do something. Are you going to turn into a werewolf on screen?
Yeah, groovy, man, groovy. Right on, baby. Right on.
Yep.
Right
Well,
on. Groovy, baby. Groovy,
you are,
groovy.
you're on our list, the good list of the people to have call in, and
That's actually the first suggestion I've gotten for an around Halloween time show. So
Yep.
I'm gonna write that one down, Sarge.
Yep. Well, Sarge, it's always a pleasure talking. Is there anything else you want to get out off your chest about the hostile probe, the Fourth Reich, Antarctica, Hitler on Mars?
It's not hostile, dude. It's not hostile.
Not
It's
hostile.
not hostile. Dude, it's like this. If Americans want to look like a bunch of fucking nerds, a bunch of damn geeks in front of the mighty and victorious Nazi Empire, that they're the real winners of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And the new evidence that they are the proud real winners of World War II. Thank God. Yeah, thank God. Amen.
I mean, our country hired them.
That's true. That's true. If we want to look like a bunch of nerds in front of basically, a big giant bunny rabbit, that's basically hopping on the galaxies. Go for it, but be afraid of a big fucking bunny rabbit. Oh, come on, man. Get a fucking life. Get a fucking life, dude. Shit. Come on, Americans. Get a fucking life. You're afraid of a damn bunny rabbit? Oh, fuck you.
Are you?
You haven't seen the Burmese python rabbits,
Yeah,
man.
seriously.
You need to start fearing them. They're scary.
Does your loyalty to the Fourth Reich, is it more important to you than your citizenship here in America?
No, it's the same. It's the same. It's equal. It's equal.
Okay.
It's equal.
How if they have sort of conflicting, worldviews, and you think that
Not at all.
Americans are nerds?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. First of all, we do like Jews, and we like Israel. We like Israel, and we like Jews.
Interesting.
We have really changed. We really changed. We sure
Interesting.
have.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Shout out to
first.
Jews.
The Fourth Reich and the Jews are
Shout out to Jews.
working
You're
together.
right. Shout out to Jews. Yeah, yeah. Heil Hitler. Yeah. Peace forever. Peace forever. Peace forever.
So is
Peace
the
forever.
Fourth Reich a fan of Kanye?
I'm sorry. What?
Is the Fourth Reich a fan of Kanye? He's done a lot for your branding in the past few years.
Oh, I don't. I've never heard of him. I give or take. There's a few things you know about, and there's a few things that I know about that you probably don't. That's why you keep asking me all these questions.
That's why we get
fair,
along.
baby. That's fair.
That's why we get along,
That's fair.
Sarge. Well, Sarge, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in. I'm really glad you cleared these things up for us. I hope you all the best, and congrats on the marriage. But go for
one
it.
last thing. When would you like to have me back on around Halloween? Around Halloween, baby.
I mean,
Halloween.
who knows? It could be before that, but let's say definitely around Halloween.
Groovy, baby, groovy. Shake it. Do a little dance for you. Do a little dance. Here we go, badasses. We all sexy. Ow.
Bye, Sarge.
Yeah.
See you, Sarge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peyton Cottrell II.
What do you guys think about that?
I was the only one fortunate enough to have him on video.
He was on video?
Yeah. I didn't have him. The way his angle was, I wouldn't have been able to size him into the screen without it
me
being
and him talked
insane.
about audio only anyway. That's fine.
But I figured, he didn't want to do audio up. He was kind of just spinning around in a room.
So you got to see him bark. Yeah. Okay.
So I was also laughing at the video feeds because if you've seen the last show that we did with him when he was on video, he's very animate.
There is a Sarge episode out there. David Flora, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Don't mind the broken blinds in Sarge's front windows. One must maintain a level of paranoia." So true. So true. There was another one. I think it disappeared though. I think it was about you, Brandon. A super chat, but I'm not.
Oh
saying
yeah,
that.
it was also Tiny telling me to get serious about this because it's serious, basically.
Yeah, guys.
I just,
Shout out
I
to
can't
Sarge.
get behind any of this shit. I'm sorry.
We'll get you.
Keep
you.
keep trying. By all means, keep trying. I mean, I do believe there's something significant about Antarctica. I don't think Hitler's on Mars. I'm pretty sure he's dead, if not from the laws of nature or by his own accord, then probably just from natural causes. I
Sarge.
say no more. I don't
I
think the
believe you,
Nazis are
Sarge.
coming back.
I believe Sarge.
I don't
think
believe
he's-
with Heiling Hitler. I don't believe in that at all.
But they're fine. They rebranded. He said it's all good now.
Oh, we're good now.
No, it's all-
Everyone's
fine.
good.
Yeah, they're into Israel. It's totally fine.
Yeah, we totally love the Jews.
They're into Israel because they wield so much destruction.
Hey, you know what? I'll be the first person to admit I was wrong when this thing gets here and shakes our hands instead of firing whatever the fuck it's shaking at us menacingly.
Well, there's people in the
from
chat.
right now.
They're standing with Brandon, and we'll see. We'll have Sarge back, and he can make his case for you guys. Maybe change some hearts out there.
And I'm not trying to divide the ranks out there, but you guys know where I stand on a lot of this stuff. And I mean, I'm just, show me.
Patrick Kern
something.
said
Show me
Hitler
something.
is on Mars, and that's why Elon Musk saluted him. And for those, I don't know if we said it tonight explicitly, Sarge told us in a previous episode that Hitler's alive on Mars, and he's old, but he's got all this technology thanks to the Fourth Reich and perhaps things they got from the Greys. But those dang Chinese, huh? Dressing up like the whites.
Something about, what do you call them? Slick?
Slick.
I said it was slick.
Well, we got to get him on camera. We'll see him mutate into a werewolf. That is something he's written a book about, I believe. He has a whole potion that they used to turn into werewolves. It is also the name of a real Nazi operation called Operation Werewolf, but it's not like what Sarge is saying. Operation Werewolf, as far as I know, was like their version of Operation Gladio over here. It was kind of like stay behind orders to infiltrate into other governments, other militaries, and take over, which is kind of like what happened with Operation Paperclip, except on our end, we called it Paperclip, but on their end, they might have seen it as Werewolf. So there you have it, people. Caitlin Nearing said, I bet Sarge is corn pop. That adds up. That adds up. So thank you again to Sarge. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm seeing a big conflict. They don't know if they should believe in Sarge or not. But of course, we will have him back, and you can make up your minds later on. Corn Pop was a bad dude, says David Parker. We should get to another caller.
All right. So I actually had to text Alex Ayala for this because there's a name in the chat that says Chris/Alex.
Interesting.
And I was like, is this Chris and Alex?
The Chris and
our
Alex?
Chris and Alex? Or is this a different Chris and Alex? Well, it turns out it's a different
Whoa.
Chris and Alex.
Doppelgangers, perhaps.
That's exactly why we are going to go ahead and bring on Chris/Alex. But first, can you unmute your microphone? If you're playing the drinking game, now's your time.
Moist.
Hello.
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 Hey, I'm Chris. This is my friend Alex. I was calling in. I told him if we got on, I'd let him tell some ghost stories from when he was a kid.
Awesome.
Cool.
We would love to hear them.
Hello there.
The floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I started, I was on two of the types of Ritalin from when I was a kid. And one of them, I was in Elizabeth, Colorado at a restaurant. And I ended up seeing these little figures. They weren't even a foot tall, but they were wearing clothing that reminded me of Zelda when I saw them later. But it was a red clothing one and then a black clothing one. And yeah, they had these teeth that were like to points and they had black eyeballs. And I would see them there at the restaurant. They would be in like the corner of the windows and they would just be looking at me. And I'd be pointing them out to like my grandpa and stuff like that. It'd be like, they're staring at me right here. And they were never able to see them. And then well, that was the other house. So we ended up going to a haunted house, which we didn't know until later was haunted. But it turned out that a girl had died in our pool back in the 60s.
Yeesh.
And we saw her running around in a white dress in front of our pool table. And then when I was a kid, I would play violin. And so, of course, the first time I was ever home alone, I'm sitting there doing homework and I hear my violin start playing in my room. So this was like the first wireless phones. I don't know how it worked, but I was down the street calling my parents like, no, you need to come home. There's somebody here. And they're like, yeah, no, there's not. So like 30 minutes later, they come home. I'm still down the street, like sitting out there waiting. And yeah, they finally got me to come inside, and my dad's like, yeah, whatever. He goes down the hallway and he hears my violin start playing, and he comes flying back towards us. All of his hair is standing up, and he like polishes his palms by rubbing them together, and he's like, I got to get ready for this shit. And he went flying into my bedroom, and my violin was put away. And he heard it start playing in the spare bedroom. So he busted into the spare bedroom. The girl with the white dress was playing a violin on the computer screen that we had in there.
The girl from the pool
Yeah, the girl that had died from the white pool
was playing violin on the computer.
Yeah, she was playing my violin. It was originally in my bedroom, and then she was doing it on the computer on the screensaver, though.
What? And the sound was coming from the computer, like that area, or the sound was moving?
It moved. It went from my bedroom to the spare bedroom where the computer was.
And you said you saw her prior to this. Did everyone see her prior to this, or was this when everyone started seeing her?
No, everybody saw her before. It was my dad and my sister that had originally saw her first, and they saw her the first time running around the pool table as well. He had bought like a new one. He was in love with it, and she was running around it. And we think it was her. We would hear this stuff running around in the attic, and we thought they were roof rats. So we would run up there to like try to catch them, and there would be nothing there. And the very first night I was ever in that house is something, it's insane for me. I was laying in bed and I felt something lay across my feet, and it almost felt like a dog laying on your feet. I looked down and there's nothing, but you could actually see the indentation. I took a pillow, I took a blanket, and I stuffed them under my bed. And I said, you sleep here, you do not sleep on me. And it never slept on me again. But everybody in my family that lived in the house, all of them had it sleep on their feet all the time. My sister would army crawl into my parents' bedroom and jump on the bed that way because she was scared of it all.
Did it ever end?
No, honestly, that stuff never stopped. We had a family friend come in. Her name was Maria, and she walked in, and it's hard to explain. She just completely changed, and she never talked to us again. We were like, are you okay? Maria, are you okay? Nothing. She turned around and walked out of that house. Never again.
So she changed in the house in front of your eyes, and then turned around and left and never heard from her again.
Yep. Yeah, she saw something and said, absolutely not. But she wouldn't talk to any of us about any of it.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that was the craziest part for it. And then our neighbor was a cop at the time. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what kind of cop he was. But we had a... my brain's not working right now. What is it that they call it when somebody babysitter? Mm-hmm. We had a babysitter over at the house. Yep. She was making me chocolate milk, and I look up, and there was a person out back in white overalls as well, but you could see through him, and he was holding the pool stick that you swipe the pool with. And I remember just as calm and quietly as possible, I tap on her. I'm like, Rachel, there's somebody out back. She looks and she screams for my sister to come into the kitchen versus away from where he's at. And so she comes in and then she lets me grab a butcher knife.
Oh.
I'm not even 11 at the time. And she lets me protect us with a butcher knife.
All right.
And so we go busting into the garage for safety, but there was a door to out back as well from the garage. So we go in there and he's standing outside of the garage looking at us. And so I'm screaming for the cop's name, Marcus, next door. And he comes flying over with a gun. It's like maybe 9 o'clock at night. And Rachel's like, there's somebody out back. He was holding the pool stick. And so he goes flying around. He's like, the pool stick's put away. And he's like, there's nobody around anywhere.
Sheesh. Yeah. Did you start this conversation by saying you were on Ritalin at the time as a kid?
So that's when my hallucination stuff like that first originally started.
Do you think that had something to do with what you were seeing?
So honestly, I don't know. I was still on ADHD medications, but they were completely different at the time.
So I think they're distinguishable. He had a couple like hallucinations, and then he's talking about ghost stories specifically with that house.
And then the ghost stories happened after that initial event. And then with that initial event, you're telling us about the restaurant in, I think it was Colorado. Did those things say anything to you?
The little Zelda demons?
Yeah.
What were you saying about
Did
them?
the Zelda demons say anything?
No, they never did. They would just smile at me with those evil teeth and those black eyes and just look at me. And it freaked me out. I would be like tapping everybody. I'd be like, they are looking at me. And none of them ever saw it. And they're like, yeah, whatever, no.
Did you hallucinate?
And then, yeah, I'm continuing with that. So I've had a lot of hallucination stuff that I think has had to do with medication on top of that haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I was ever on my sleep medication, you guys are catching me right now with a little bit of seizure issue right now. What was my?
So you were talking about the house.
Sorry, guys. I have
it's okay.
a seizure condition that's actually had some surgeries done for
I'll take over real quick, okay?
Take your time. No, geez, take your time.
He has epilepsy, so he probably can't finish the call. But I had a question for you guys, unless you want me to finish up for him real quick.
I mean, is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's totally fine. It's normal. It happens.
Okay.
But I just got a question. Sorry to divert this so far. If you want to talk about ghosts, that's fine.
No, it's all good.
It feels kind of like we're in the end times right now. So I keep having these like come to Jesus moments, and it feels like there's a lot of that going on. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of wanted to ask, do you think that every generation feels like it's the end times, or is this just kind of something that...
I mean, every generation definitely feels like it's the end of the world.
I would say older generations probably do more so than the younger generations do. Because I don't think they've really seen things on that scale before, and it really just seems like at a certain age and under, you're just still kind of just blissfully ignorant to the bigger pictures like this.
I think the younger generation, a lot of them, I don't want to say all of them, but a lot seem to be just totally nihilistic. Like there's no meaning because they've inherited this crazy world. That's happened multiple times. You know, the guys who went and fought in World War I came back, and that was, I think, the lost generation, they called it. So that's like a cyclical thing. The reason I think we feel like this is our end times, and I'm reluctant to say it is because I don't know anything, because I'm just a human, but it feels like the actual fabric of reality is being debated, and there's wars that used to happen that they seem like they were rooted in the objective world, but now it feels like there is no more objective world. I believe in the objective world and objective truth, but they're just going to war. I mean, everyone's at war with everything, and it's constant. And it's not unique, but the things I think we're fighting about feel unique because it's coming down to spiritual warfare and like becoming a mainstream topic. There are a lot of people coming to religion. You see a huge boost in it happening with Christians in this country. But those things do also happen after times of crises. And like our crisis that we're still dealing with right now was COVID. And it it destroyed society. So, you know, I don't know. And it's such a popular conversation, and in different ways now in apocalyptic languages, because like on Tim's show a week or two ago, there was a guy talking about burning the red heifer to bring about the Messiah, you know, and there's lots of Christians who do believe it's the end times, but you can go online and find so many Christians who think that. So I don't know if that's the greatest answer, but I feel like it's something that always happens. But yeah.
If my thing is if all this biblical stuff isn't real, because, you know, I've pretty much never paid attention to it until, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. If none of the biblical stuff is real, then, you know, people are really, really trying to make you believe it is. And that's as scary as it being real almost. So I don't know.
Well, that goes back a long way too. That's been happening since the beginning of religion.
Well, yeah, but you know, like for example, they're, you know, exactly they're sacrificing the red heifer. They could build the temple. You know, there's a state of Israel. That's all I'm talking about. You know, they're technically they're trying to push that they're filling for prophecy or whatever. So,
and I also think humans are on the precipice of major change with AI. Whether or not we can agree on what AI is, or it being sentient, or if it ever will be, there is a major shift happening after a time of like lockdowns. So we're out of our minds.
Just a fun fact, actually, because of Alex's epilepsy, he actually he has a implant in his head, and he's technically like a cyborg.
Oh, sweet! So we just talked to our first cyborg.
Yeah, so
is he okay? How's he doing?
It's almost like Neuralink. He's actually here if you want him to finish his story.
Yeah.
Back again, finally.
It's not quite as good as Neuralink though, but here he is. He was talking about Ambien.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was, I think I was 11 at the time as well. It was in that same house, the haunted house. And they gave me Ambien because I was never able to sleep from those medications. And I remember I took it, and then they left, and I still had my light on, and I had a popcorn ceiling at the time. And I remember looking up, and all of the different pieces of popcorn started changing colors, and I started freaking out over it. And then I looked down, there was a lion sitting on my bed looking at me. I started screaming my ass off until my parents came flying in. And I'm like, there's a lion on my bed. And they're like, no, there's not. I'm like, yes, there is. It's right here. I'm pointing at it, and I'm still screaming. And they're like, Alex, there's nothing here. And they called my doctor the next morning, and they're like, yeah, well, with people with Ambien, if they don't fall asleep on it, it can cause them to hallucinate. They never warned us that.
Lucid dreaming, sleepwalking. There are a lot of cases of that drug doing some very weird shit to people.
Yeah. And I think drugs can obviously make us hallucinate and see things, but they can also open up, I think, portals to things that maybe we shouldn't be seeing, or inviting things in. You know, all types of drugs, not just the ones we're talking about, but like over the counter, but also street drugs. That's wild. Are you doing okay?
Yeah. Especially with the street drug, like the legal style ones. I did a salvia trip when I was, say this was probably 2010, 2011 for me that I had done this. But, so I did it 2 separate times, and they were completely different trips. The first one I find funny. We were sitting in the desert. It was me and a couple of my friends doing it. And once I started having the hallucination, I was at the top of a building, like I owned a business, and I had this lady next to me. And I remember looking through the window, looking at me and my friends in the desert. And I remember saying to her, I'm like, look at these idiots out here doing drugs while we're up here. And then I remember I come back too. I'm like, we're those idiots.
That's wild. Yeah, I've heard so many stories of strange out-of-body experiences. Man, that's wild. But I really appreciate you sharing these stories, and I hope you're doing okay.
No, thank you. There's, sorry, just one more. I wanted to let you know that's probably, I think, really important to a lot of people.
Okay.
The salvia as well that I had done, I saw a blue deer running through a forest, and I never thought anything about it, but I had told somebody about it, and they said that it happened to a native tribe, that a lot of them do salvia to try to find it, and that's part of their, like, religious style stuff. And I didn't know for years after that technically I saw what they've been looking for every time they do it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
But
crazy.
that was that for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It was great speaking to both of you, Chris and Alex, and hope you have a great night.
Hey, thank you guys. Good night.
Bye. Whoa. The other thing I was going to say about this end time stuff is it just, when it comes to this like war on reality, it's like constant war on reality. Reality has been completely destabilized, which is why I think a lot of people have turned to religion as an anchor to help get through this insanity. You know, even people who might not fully believe in it, it's like they need it to cling to it because there's so much distortion, so much chaos, so much depravity happening out there that they're like, you know what, this thing I mocked my whole life and perhaps I'm projecting, you know, except I do firmly believe it, even still constantly questioning it with my little flawed human brain. This is something, an anchor for people to help get through this this darkness. And like I said, we have experienced 5 years of crazy darkness, losing people to death, to, you know, isolation, to obviously overdoses and all this stuff, and to just politics and all that stuff. And then watching what the government was doing and the chaos that ensued from that. And then just all around the world, as we were home locked down, you remember the, I forget what country it was. Maybe I'm going to say maybe Finland, because I just like ragging on Finland, but they, one of those countries culled like all of the, was it meerkats? It was like tens of thousands because they were afraid it was going to spread COVID. And they just holocausted all of these animals. And then in Australia, there were these dogs up for adoption and people wanted to come and take them. And then they ended up just killing the dogs to keep the people from coming.
I think they were killing pets and shit like that in places like China and stuff like that too, just because they were worried that their animals were going to get it and bring it home.
Yep.
So they just were killing their pets.
Yeah. We experienced like a mass hysteria, you know, and I think that also makes people think of the end of the world and also a need for something bigger to hold on to. Especially if you're like a parent, but just anyone, adults who went through their lives for 30 years and then all of a sudden everything was turned upside down. So that's just one reason.
Drugs are bad, people, even if they're biochemically engineered in a lab in Wuhan.
I heard it was bat soup. That's what Fauci said. I trust Fauci. He is the science. Let's get to another caller.
All right. Let's look at the old list here.
I hope that previous caller is okay. That was our first like on-air seizure.
I don't know that he actually had a seizure. I think he might have just been getting to that point.
Yeah, I had to like
it
just
sounded
step
like
back
he just
for a
kind of
sec.
like had to like walk away for a second. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely no more drugs for that man.
I don't think he's on them now. I hope not.
I would certainly hope not. Yeah. But let's go to Rob. Let's get Rob in here. The old join lag.
Let's see what you guys are doing in the chat.
Rob, you're on the show if you want to unmute.
100% F Big Pharma, says the Big Scrub. Agreed. Imagine if they take all the Big Pharma ads off TV. What a different world. I think it's only us in New Zealand that has Big Pharma on TV. It's got to go. Got to go. Enlightened Fool said, too bad. I like drugs.
Yeah, you know. We're still waiting for...
Denmark was feeding pets to lions at the zoo. What?
I heard something about that. I don't know.
Well, something recently in the news,
but I heard something about that.
People asking for like donations for food. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Just hanging out, man. Just getting ready for work tomorrow. But I just surprised. I got the call taken. I was already gonna call it a night. Not too sure if y'all gonna take the call or not.
All right, we got you. So what's going on?
Now, I wanted to hold up real quick. I wanted to share a story. I haven't gone. I've never gone public with the story on social media. I kind of like kept it, private amongst close friends and family, and so. But I thought this was like a perfect platform to, to express it, to tell y'all, and just get y'all's thoughts on on my experience and my encounter.
Awesome. Well, thanks for wanting to share it with us.
Sure, man. Hey, um, it was about 15 years ago, maybe like about 2011, I would say. And so I'm located in South Texas, and I was driving home, and I was with a friend of mine, and so it was already nighttime, or the nighttime had already kicked in, and so it was about an hour drive home, and I guess we were about 20 minutes, 15 away from the house. So by the time I was getting close, the nighttime had already kicked in, so it was already dark. And so in this area, in the at least in the South Texas area, there's these owls. They call them lechusas. These are really, really big birds, big owls. They have a big wingspan of about the size of a vehicle, like a truck, like a big truck. And usually they're brown. They have like a light brown, whitish look to it. And um, we're driving home, and we're conversating here and there, whatever. By this time, conversation had already died down. The radio was low, and coming up on a curve, and as the curve is straightening out to the road, in a distance, I saw this object, right, and immediately I assumed that it was like a lechusa on the ground. That's what I usually call them, lechusa. And or vultures, maybe a vulture. We really don't have vultures, but usually it's those things. And it was probably like, I was thinking maybe it was eating carcass on the road, like roadkill. And so like I said, by this time the conversation had already died down between my friend, and like I said, this is nighttime. And y'all still there?
Oh yeah, we're listening, dude. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm plugged in.
Okay, cool, man. So immediately I thought by default, okay, this lechusa. It's hanging out on the road. Eventually, as we get closer, it's gonna fly off. It's gonna fly away. Because we're already approaching. Usually something that's on the road, whether it's an animal or a bird, it flies away immediately because it sees us. It sees the headlights. It sees the vehicle. It senses us coming in fast. And we're going probably like about 50, 60 miles an hour. And so, like I said, I immediately thought that that's what it was, a lechusa. And so I just looked at it, but this thing is not moving, right? And I'm like, okay, but in my head, you know what I mean? I don't even stop to look at my friend or talk to my friend or whatever. I'm locked in, like, what is this thing, right? So I'm like, okay, but I don't slow down. I don't slow down at all, right? Which was weird because I'm going, and I'm like, okay, this thing is not moving. It's not flying away, like, okay, well, what's going on, and I'm just trying to process everything as I'm driving. And what was weird about this whole thing was that from the moment I got, from the moment we were distant and to the moment where we were so close to, I would say maybe like about, I don't know, uh, probably like about a vehicle, two vehicles distance away from it. Um, it basically, it was like a trance because I didn't, I didn't stop. Usually you see something road, say if it was a person or an animal, you stop and like, hey, this thing's in the way. Hope, like I slowed down, but I didn't, which was weird. You know what I mean? I did not slow down. And I'm like, okay, well, but the thing was, as I was looking at it, it was just bright. And it's not raining, there's no smoke in the air, it's not cloudy, there's no fog, there's nothing. It's just dark. And of course, at night, the headlights only cover so much area because before it gets dark, right? And so, we're talking about a back road. We're not talking about like in a city or anything amongst other like, traffic. There's no traffic. It's a back road. It's a two-way road, right? And I'm like, so, I'm trying to process this thing, and it's like, okay, this not making sense to me at this point. It's not making any sense at all, and I'm trying. I'm just trying to. I'm like, okay, like what's going on here?
Did it look like anything in that moment to you?
Well, that's what, like I said, at first I thought it was a bird. I thought it was that owl on the road, and like I said, it would fly. But this thing, what was weird about it, what I first noticed that threw me off was that this thing was not on the ground. It was hovering above the ground.
How far off the ground?
And I would say about maybe about 10 feet high at the most. At maybe 12 feet high. Maybe like the size of a vehicle, about 10, 20 feet high.
And what kind of car were you driving?
I was a truck.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm going about 60, more or less, 50, 60 more or less. And I'm driving, two-way road, dark, back road, Texas back road, dark, right? And like I said, what threw me off was that it didn't move and it was hovering over the ground. And where it started to throw me off more was that I started noticing colors, not solid colors, but illuminating colors, right? And that at that point, when I started noticing these illuminating colors, that's where I felt like, well, what was weird was that, like I said, I did not stop. Like I didn't stop to be like, well, what, like, hey, what, talk to my friend or anything. I didn't even talk to him at all throughout this whole time. From the moment that I noticed this thing, I didn't talk to. I didn't. Hey, what's that?
Did you?
Hey, what's going on?
Did you look
hey,
at?
what is this?
Did you look at your friend while
I
you were
didn't even
looking
look at him. We were both in that same. How would
you said like a trance?
Like a trance,
right?
Like a trance.
And
like
when you say this thing was hovering, you mean like at first? Because at first you thought it was some big bird, this huge owl. And when it's hovering, are there wings involved in this, or is it sort of just floating there?
No, there's no wings. This thing has it's just an unfamiliar object, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like when I noticed that this thing didn't fly away, and when I noticed that it was hovering over the ground, that's where I started to, think, okay, this is not normal. And at that point, from the moment that I noticed that, eventually, of course, I'm going. I didn't even brake. I didn't slow down, which was weird about that whole situation. I didn't slow down. I didn't talk to my friend. I didn't look at him. I didn't say nothing. I'm just going. And like I said, I am like, I'm just trying to register. I'm trying to process what I'm seeing, right? Because it's like nothing that, like I've never experienced.
Did you
before,
talk to your friend after when you drove away?
Okay, okay. Here comes the interesting part. The moment I snapped out of it was the moment where I was like about 2 vehicles away, distance away. I snapped out of it, and that's where the image came to with the closest up to the point where, like I said, I snapped out of it, and there was the image came to something that I could compare it to. When it, and well, like like I said, this happened about 15 years ago, right? And to this day, like the flashes of that memory still, I would, haunt me, traumatize me, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, when I snapped out of it, I swerved, and good thing there was no oncoming vehicle that, because I swerved into the other lane and swerved around it. And so this thing pretty much covered almost the whole road. So I swerved around it, right? And I didn't, thank goodness I didn't lose control. And so I was like, and at that point, when I snapped out of it, I kind of, yelled or whatever. It was like, oh, wow, like I just kind of reacted, right? My friend's like, oh, and I swerved around it. And I was like, then luckily I got control of my truck, and I got back on the road, right? And then that's when I started looking at my friend. I started yelling. I started saying, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? This guy, I don't mean to cuss, but that's what I was that's how I was expressing myself. That's what I was saying.
Did it
right?
have a shape, like a certain shape you can describe?
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, when I snapped out of it, that's when the image came to something where I got the clearest image of something that I can compare it to. And what my friend said when I said, what the fuck was that? He said, it looked like a jellyfish. And like I said, when I finally snapped out of it and swerved around it, I still have that memory. Now, of course, I have like a blurry memory, but I know what I saw. And like I said, it looked like a jellyfish, and it was transparent. It had colors to it. It had the top body. It had the bottom body where it trickles down. And of course, it was not on the ground. It was hovering on the ground.
Have you seen anything like this in the news or online?
Never before, and never after to this day. Never. Never.
When you started like cursing after you drove right past it, did you have any sense of like dread in you, or like what were you?
Man, I was so freaked out. I felt like a chill in my body. Like I don't know.
Did you experience any missing time?
That was so weird.
Because the trance is weird.
Okay, look, exactly. Why didn't I stop? Why didn't I stop to be like, hey, what is that? Hey, you know what I mean? From a distance, you know what I mean?
Do you have
what was weird about the whole thing was that I got so close to it where I snapped out of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have theories about what you think it is?
I don't know. All I know is that, and that every day since that day up until now, I have flashes of memory. Of course, I do whatever I got to do. I work, I do whatever, I hang out, do whatever I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have flashes of that memory. And it, to be honest, it kind of drives me crazy, man. And when I came, I follow, I tune into the Timcast IRL, whatever. And, I check it out time to time. And then I came across your platform, right? Recently. I don't know how long y'all been doing this show, but I was like, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? A pretty cool show, and I barely started tuning in recently.
Well, thank you. I mean, I the jellyfish thing, I mean, we've pulled up stories about jellyfish UFOs. Those ones that we've talked about, I think are easy to dismiss because I don't know if they're anything, but there is people talking about jellyfish UFOs out there. And, I don't know what they are. I don't know what they claim to be. These people who see these videos, there's people who think it's extraterrestrial. There's people who think it's some technology we just don't know about. But, we do have a lot of stories of people who have seen things and gotten close to things, different shapes than what you're describing. And there's some sort of trance-like or missing time scenario. Do you talk to your friend still, and do you ever bring it up with him?
You know what? I had talked to him time after time. It's been a while since I talked to him. I still have him on Facebook, but I remember one time, like years after that, we actually had a conversation, and then he just brought up, he's like, "What if we just disappeared?" And there was no trace. There was no trace of us, of the truck or us.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like that. I was like, wow, I never thought that. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that didn't happen because of we're still here. You know what I mean? But what was weird about it? I dropped them off. I came home. I went to bed. Whatever. I woke up. That was the first thing on my mind. And so I had to call my friend in the morning because I thought it was a dream. I was like, man, no. It's like, this is a dream. So it was the first thing on my mind. I woke up and I called him. I was like, hey, man, did we see that thing last night? And he's like, yeah, we saw it. We saw it, man. And he's like, yeah, man, it looked like a jellyfish. And when he said it, when he like right when they first happened, he said, I don't know, man, it looked like a fucking jellyfish. I was like, holy shit, that's what the fuck I thought I saw too.
Did it look organic, or did it look like some sort of like technology or structure to it?
No. It didn't have like a it looked organic. It looked, like I said, transparent, floating, colors to it. It had everything. It had the top part where it lights up a lot, and that's where it illuminated the most. That's where the colors were coming out the most. And it had everything where it trickles down. You know what I mean? The bottom part were just all these lines or whatever towards the bottom. Oh man, dude.
That's crazy. I wish we had some answers for you. I mean, all I can say is you can go online. You'd be curious. I'm curious what you would think if you look up the jellyfish UFO videos. There's like, I think at least two, and who knows how real they are, but they are. The two that I'm thinking of came through this UFO committee and the whistleblowers. And I'm curious if you look them up and see what you think and if it reminds you of what you saw.
I think I came across one that I think came out within the last 2 years. They said it was balloons, but they said they saw it somewhere like in Iraq or something like that, and it was just floating or whatever. It was like a footage from like a drone or a helicopter.
Yep.
And it had that black and white. It was not color footage. It was actually like kind of like black and white.
Yeah,
something
footage.
Like from a drone or from a helicopter or something like that.
Yep.
And but that's the only thing that I was like, oh, that kind of looks like it, but you know what I mean? That's coming from a different point of view. From what I saw, I've never.
Hey man, I wish we could tell you something concrete. I wish we had better answers for you, but I appreciate you sharing the story. And if something jogs your memory, or if you see some other stuff, because this jellyfish thing, I feel like it's not the end of that story. I don't know what it is, but there are people talking about it, like there are people talking about Tic Tacs and saucers and all that stuff. The shapes are fascinating, triangles, cubes. So give us a call back if you think of something else, or if your friend, if you happen to talk to them, has another angle on it. But I appreciate the phone call.
I'm gonna let him know about the show, and then I'll have him call, or tune in, and then maybe he'll get a call in or whatever. But yeah, man, I just wanted to call in and express that to y'all. Like I said, man, I have flashes of that thing, and I don't know what y'all's relationship with religion and God. I know people. They do it every day. You know what I mean? They do their prayers every day. To be honest, it changed my life. I don't even. And not to say that I don't believe anymore, but I believe in that. Before anything else, I believe in that. To be honest, I believe in that more than I believe in any religion. I believe in that.
Well, I
Of
wouldn't
course,
let it.
I believe in people. I
I
believe in people. I believe in the sun. I believe in like the animals, the plants, and I believe in what I saw more than
I
anything
wouldn't
else
let
that
it.
people.
I'll just say my 2 cents is I wouldn't let it discourage you from believing in things.
No, what? No, exactly. No, no.
In terms of
And that's
God,
not to say, what I'm saying is I believe more that than anything else.
right? Like your
You know what I
experience, you
mean?
experience something and it's haunting you, and you can't get it out of your mind. Well, it is
Yeah, yeah.
certainly a very haunting image to come across, and I appreciate you sharing the story, man. And like I said, tell your friend. We'll talk to him too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll let them know, man. But thanks, guys,
Thanks, man.
for letting me talk about that with y'all, man. But y'all have a
Absolutely.
good night, man, and we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, man. Be
We'll see
safe out
how
there.
we'll see how this thing, that thing that y'all talking about that's coming around that spaceship or whatever in December or something like that.
Dude.
That's weird.
At
That
this
is
at
weird
this
stuff right
rate,
there,
at
man.
this rate, Avi Loeb in about a week will tell us it's a jellyfish.
Wouldn't be
Man, who
surprised.
knows? Who knows, man?
All right,
But
thanks for
anyways,
calling in,
guys,
man.
y'all have a good night, man.
See you,
too.
man. All righty, jellyfish are back on the menu.
Yeah, and it's funny because it seems that with temperatures being at all-time highs for some of these
this is
seas,
going.
like I think hang on, let me get confirmation on this before I go spewing it out
love
there.
this. This
North
is-
Sea and the Mediterranean
This is a great
Sea
segue.
have experienced above average water temperatures this year, fueling extensive heat waves and creating more favorable conditions for, wait for it, jellyfish. So let's bring up a quick read.
Tell us about it.
Jellyfish lay on the shore near the Gravelines nuclear power plant in Gravelines, northern France on August 12, 2025. 4 units at the Gravelines nuclear power plant in Nord were shut down on August 11, 2025 due to the massive and unforeseeable presence of jellyfish in the pumping stations for the water used to cool the reactors, EDF announced. These automatic shutdowns of units 2, 3, 4, and 5, quote, had no impact on the safety of the facilities, the safety of the personnel, or the environment. And I unquote. EDF assured on its website the plant is thus temporarily shut down completely, as is 2 other production units, 1 and 5, are currently undergoing maintenance. Basically, they've never seen this many fucking jellyfish.
That's an invasion. This is a straight up invasion. Those look like little UFOs on the beach.
Yeah, little aliens, all of them.
That is wild.
Little bastards. It's entirely possible one of these things really, really big got out and decided to, run across a road.
It got lost. Those things do get big. And there's also the immortal jellyfish. You seen that one?
The immortal jellyfish?
Yeah, it dies and comes right back to life.
What the hell are we talking about?
Look it up on
Hang
YouTube really quick. I forget what they call it. Maybe they call it the immortal jellyfish.
I
If
mean,
not,
why
it's a great
the
name
hell
for a
wouldn't
band.
you,
Aaron Wolf says, deport them jellyfish. Darth Tater said, radioactive jellyfish. Ooh-wee.
Capable of completely reverting to a sexually immature colonial stage after having reached sexual maturity. What the hell did I just look up,
Yeah,
Shane?
dude. Well, sorry, I rickrolled you with jellyfish porn.
Oh, my God.
Is there a video of those things? I thought there was video. They're weird, dude. Jellyfish, I wouldn't trust those either. Octopi, jellyfi, don't trust them. Starfish, Jeremy Davis says, don't trust those either.
Teratopsis dorni.
That sounds about right.
Scientifically known as the immortal jellyfish. Apparently, it can cycle between its polyp and medusa forms, which grants it the potential for biological immortality.
Yep.
It's one of the few known animals with full regenerative capabilities and can shrink and reabsorb its tentacles when damaged, settling on the seafloor as a cyst-like blob found in temperate to tropical waters, just like jellyfish. The immortal jellyfish itself is a fascinating example of nature's resistance.
This is why Peter Thiel looks like a jellyfish. Because their transhumanists have now harnessed the power of the immortal jellyfish to never die. And they'll be like Benjamin Button for the transhumanists. They'll revert back to a cell and then respawn in Silicon Valley.
So now we've got de-extinction and de-evolution.
Yes. Yeah.
Are now playing parts in our everyday lives, folks.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
We are cooked. We got to boil the ocean, I think, to just get rid of all these things. They're coming for us.
Isn't that what you have to do? We had to do that in Chicago for drinking water. Like one of these
Boil
times,
it
something.
first,
Yeah, you got to like, hey, we're issuing a boil effect on water for the next like 3 weeks.
Tradition. Yeah. I think we got to do it with the whole ocean. I'm sure we could just contact Bill Gates. Well, hey, while you're blocking the sun, can we boil this ocean real quick? Because the octopus wants to kill me. Yep. I don't trust this jellyfish. It wants to live forever. Yeah, and those dolphins out there, Matt G. Dolphins. I mean, how many stories do we have of these things? And like, why is NASA trying to talk to whales and dolphins? Because they think it's going to help them learn how to speak to extraterrestrials that may or may not be on this aggressive probe. We should get to one more caller.
Yeah, we should have time for one more.
Thank you guys for getting through this night with us on a Monday. What am I drinking tonight? I got iced coffee, and I got this wonderful little raspberry lime drink that Tim stocks the studios with. Spindrift. Yeah. Not brought to you by Spindrift, but I do drink these things because there's like nothing in it.
I don't dabble. Everybody generally likes them. I end up just going back for the liquid deaths.
There's probably something horrible in it, and it's just not listed. And this is how they're slowly getting me. It's probably just filled with decompressed jellyfish.
Yeah, which I had my coffee early tonight, so I didn't want to go nuts. I need to sleep. We've been doing rehearsals for the skate competition. Game of skate that's happening this. I believe it's this Saturday.
It looks awesome.
So that's going to be cool. We're going to have a couple pros come out, skate against each other.
Yep.
Hopefully turn this into like a regular thing, so stay tuned for that. We're going to do live broadcast for that. Check it out at Boonies HQ. Boonies HQ for all of your skateboard needs. We are going to try to go to, let's go to SSKD.
Someone said, Shane, communist flag burning propaganda Cashman. That must be in reference to the IRL episode. That was so much fun with Pozo and Andrew Wilson talking about the recent flag burning executive order. And what else we talk about? I already forgot. It feels like 1,000 years ago. But it was a really fun episode.
SSKD, you're on the show. If you can unmute and say what's up.
Hi, here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us what's on your mind.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit, back to the spiritual stuff.
Let's do it.
I just have a question because I've been listening, and when you had the young lady on speaking about spirits and only believing that evil spirits exist.
Mary, you're talking about Mary of Pop Culture Crisis.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I was just wondering how does she work that in her head? I mean, how can you believe in only evil?
Well, that would be a question for Mary. I'm not gonna. I feel bad speaking for her, so all I can do is surmise. And I don't know if she got her full point across, but she was saying, I believe that anything most people see in terms of the spiritual is demonic. And I forget if it was on that episode or maybe in private off the show.
That's what she said, and it just kind of.
Because there are angels, if you believe in religion,
right.
And I don't know if I said it on the show or if it was afterwards, but that's my opinion. Is I also believe in angels. So there's a good, and I think it is also difficult for people to distinguish between the two, because I do think demons try to pretend to be good. So that's my take.
I spoke to y'all before, and my name came up different this time. I don't know why, but I'm Kim Steele.
Okay.
So I spoke to you about the fact that I can actually see spirits.
Right.
So I just was like, wait, she's Catholic. She believes in saints. She believes in the Catholic mysticism, but she doesn't believe in good spirits, and that doesn't, because not all spirits are evil. So it's been kind of bugging me ever since that episode.
Well, I would plan on making her come back on this show, forcing Mary to do this late night show, because I love having her on, and I love the discussions that she brings about, because we have a difference of opinion in terms of stuff. But maybe she meant to say, I'm not sure, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but maybe she was talking more about like people do see a lot of things and they claim to be good. And I think I think a lot of Catholics do see a lot of these things as demonic. I also think a lot of these things are demonic, but I also believe in angels. That said, I do think people's interpretations of what others might say are aliens, I would say are demonic. But it's kind of like, it kind of depends on your theology, if you even have theology, or your whole worldview. But I would love for you to call back if we have her back on, and you can ask her, and I'll have her elaborate.
Just one more thing about that. It's just like, when you're thinking about this stuff and you're talking about religion, I mean, I started out as a Methodist, grew up as a Methodist, was confirmed into the Methodist Church. But as I got older and started experiencing like different churches, I tried non-denominational. My husband's from the South, he's from Memphis, so a lot of Southern Baptists in the family. Mm-hmm. Who's right? And that's my problem with organized religion is who's right.
This is the age-old question. That's what I was saying last week about theology. And then, people could debate on who has good theology, because within even the Baptist community, you could have different interpretations of the Bible and different 100%. Translations.
Yeah.
So for me, it just comes down to how I'm reading it. I read it a lot, and I'm still just a little human being with a human brain. I talk and read to, I talk to people who I respect, but maybe have difference of opinions on. And I talk to other people I deeply respect and align with a lot of how they view the Bible. But you could talk for 500 hours. You could talk until the end of time about how you interpret. Yeah, you could how you interpret the Bible. This is why there's been so many fractures within Christianity. And it's not just unique to Christianity, because it also, you look at the Jewish religion, and there's a ton of debate on that.
So even the Muslim religion is torn into shreds.
Of course.
Different theologies.
Big time. Leads to war. All over.
Buddhism. All of them have their own theories. And
for me, it just comes down to like, I don't know how else to put it, but then I'm turning off this part of my brain. And that might sound like just being an idiot to some people, but there's something where it's not my brain doing it. It's like my heart. And in my heart, I feel like how I'm reading this is how it should be read. And, but then I can sit down with someone like Mary, or, Catholic, or talk to another Protestant. And there's like Methodists obviously have different interpretations. There's all types of Protestants that are constantly at war with it. And the Protestants,
here's a weird one.
Yeah.
My husband was, spent like the first 8 years of his learning in a Church of Christ school.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe in dinosaurs.
I don't believe in dinosaurs.
I do.
But Brandon does. I think there were dragons.
Yeah.
There were dragons, not dinosaurs.
Well, that could be too, but either way,
all the dinosaur bones are fake.
Large creatures like that existed.
They were big. They were monsters.
The carcasses.
Yes, they were monsters. We can agree on that.
I think Jeff Goldblum saved all our lives, personally.
That's Colossus.
Well, he could have saved my life anytime. Goldblum's hot.
Oh man,
yeah.
Some Jeff Goldblum
the old
love.
Fly himself. Yeah.
No, not in that movie, dude. No.
That's a great one, though.
But anyway, it just been kind of nagging at me because of the fact that like I told you when I told you my story.
Mm-hmm.
I see spirits, so I know they exist.
Yep.
And
then
they're not all demons. These are just people that live their lives, and
yep. Then the issue
their
is
energy is still hanging around.
The issue is you could talk to someone who completely disagrees with your interpretation. They might not even disagree that you're seeing stuff, but they'll be like, that can't be a good entity, but then you can then counter them with being like, well, they've said this and that. So the debate goes on. And, I question all those things. I haven't really had experiences like that, except for the one or two I've described on the show, the one in particular about something I thought was my grandfather. And now I'm not even sure it was that, but I experienced something, and it was bizarre, but it wasn't how you describe them. I think you have a more like solid vision of things. So
it's more like a shadowy outline, depending on what time of day it is. But I don't see things indistinct at all. There's no distinctions.
But I love
But,
these.
I
I
mean-
love these conversations. I love how everyone has a different interpretation of it. You have your own. I have my own. Brandon has his own. Obviously, Mary has hers, and the people in the chat, I'm sure, have a million different ones. But that's
cool though, isn't it?
it's amazing.
I mean,
It's
to me,
great.
the whole conversation.
obviously
cool.
I'm the one
But-
who's right.
Well, see, but that's why I gave up on organized religion, because nobody could ever tell me
well,
who's right, who's
organized-
got the real answer,
it also depends.
and
how
there's
you,
never an answer.
It depends how you
So,
define organized religion, because there's obviously lots of problems with organized religion, and I don't.
Yeah, all they did was ask
subscribe.
me for money that I didn't have.
I love
So-
I love going to church. I love having a community and that structure for my children. But there are obviously problems within all of these institutions, because it's just humans, and humans are corrupted. So you put humans in charge of anything, you're bound to get some trouble.
Well, I appreciate your time again, guys.
Of
It was
course,
nice speaking
yeah.
with
Please,
you again.
please call back, and we can do it again.
If
Maybe
I
we'll have
see
Mary
Mary
here.
on, I'll call
Yeah.
and ask her.
Set your
Definitely.
notifications.
I definitely want to see that conversation.
Set your notifications for Mary.
All right, I will. You guys
Awesome.
take care now. Bye bye.
You
Have a
too.
good night.
Bye. Holy moly. Yeah, we'll have to get Mary in here and see what she says. I remember her saying it, but I forget the full context. Man, oh man. Well, let's see what you guys are up to in this crazy little room that we're all stuck in on YouTube. This is a really fun one. Shane Cashman, Dragon Believer, says Ryan Chrysos. Yes. Look, the dinosaur bones, you're not going to fool me, dude. Some of these bones are fiberglass. Some of these bones are just found randomly, and they put them together, and sometimes they're like, we built the wrong dinosaur. It's actually this one. Let's reassemble. It's like putting the puzzle together wrong.
This fucking glorified shower curtain you guys keep putting out every night labeled the moon. You're not getting it past Shane for a second.
Seriously.
Don't even think about it.
Guys, we know better. We know better.
Any more than you guys are going to get me to believe in God. So, there's that.
We'll get there.
And hell, I was raised Lutheran for the most part until I just completely
That's a big part of the problem.
said, "Holy shit, what the hell
Big part of the problem.
are you people doing?"
Because there's so many sects of Protestantism that go so wrong in the modern world that the original Protestants, I think, would be so sad. What happened with
Why did
their
that
religion.
sentence sound so dirty?
It did.
So many
Sex.
sects with Protestants.
SECT. Well, yeah, Lutherans for sure. Lutheran's like a synonym for lesbian. Sorry.
Oh,
anyone
hell yeah.
Out there who's a Lutheran. But you see how they I see the churches even down here in West Virginia that are completely, they claim to be Christian, but they're draped in Black Lives Matter and all sorts of pride flags, which is just not Christian at all. But they've allowed themselves to be manipulated by the modern times. And it's just, in my opinion, that's wrong.
But the thing is how many times has that happened across the timeline of religion itself? And I'm sure it happens a lot, which is why we have all these different forms of
Yes.
what she called organized religion.
Yes, and there's
And-
constantly fighting. And why? Look at all the. I have this Bible app, and you can pick from a ton of translations. And I like going through different ones, because there's some that I think are not so good, and there's some that are allegedly as close as possible to the original, and they're clunkier to read, but it's amazing. And then I like to read certain parts of the Bible in a row with different translations just to see because words make a huge difference, just little words. I've been talking about the Psalms a lot. I'm reading the Psalms. They're incredible. Like some of those Psalms could be metal songs. There are great heavy metal lyrics in the Psalms. They also sound like amazing blues songs. But yeah, we'll get Mary in here and we'll have her expound on her theories. I would love that. Am I missing anything else in these chats with you wild folks out here with us this late at night? Does anyone know where you are, that you're here on Inverted World Live, talking about dragons and dinosaurs, underwater UFOs? I'm glad we're all here
Jellyfish
together.
encounters.
Jellyfish hovering over the dark back roads of Texas.
What if this alien shit now that's going on with this has anyone I hear the rapture discussed.
Freudian slip, guys.
I have rapture discussed, but I hear it discussed a lot, and that no one really knows the form that the rapture is going to take.
That's debated too.
So, do we think there's a possibility that extraterrestrials are what causes the rapture? Do we think that this is more like I don't know,
I don't.
What the hell was
But
that?
there's definitely people who
a
do.
Ragnarok type
Yeah.
situation
Nice. Ragnarok.
coming for us, basically.
Yeah, again, that's one of those things. The rapture, even the idea of the rapture is debated amongst a different Christianity, like in Protestantism and in Catholicism. There's some who will say that rapture is, we know it today in the modern times, or at least people think about it, is like everyone going up in the sky isn't true. Because look, this is deep Revelation stuff, and I shouldn't even be talking about this. I know little. Like I've read it, but I know little. This is something Chris Carr should be calling it. If Chris Carr's listening, he's even wrote his own version of it, his own translation. But there's different attitudes on how that looks and how that plays out. So that we'll have to get in a whole episode. I'm going to call Chris and make sure he calls in one night to talk about that, because that's something up his field. But I don't believe it's aliens, but it is something that Anna Polina wasn't so much hinting at with the Revelation, but in her Rogan podcast, she was saying she kept connecting aliens, interdimensional beings to the Book of Enoch. So that might be the path she's going down. Before we go, I do have to say that Bobby Broadway, this is my new favorite comment. Shane's sarcastic voice is his same voice. I like that. That is, I believe, the truth. But yeah, I'll get Chris Carr up in here. He needs to talk about that. He understands it on a deeper level. But then he's going to talk about it, and there's going to be people out there who totally disagree with it. So maybe I'll get someone else in here. We'll do our own little Revelation Culture War episode. On that note, man, you guys are just, the chat is amazing. You guys rule. We love it. We love you guys. Look at this. Where are we? Look at this. We're almost at 100 freaking episodes. Holy frack.
Metal Flake says, yo, Inverted World Live, thanks for introducing me to Elf Famous and the Joy Feed. You two are great musicians.
Whoa,
Thanks, dude.
That's sick.
Appreciate that.
We're going to go on tour after all this. Celestial Completion by the band Extol. Whoa. Haven't listened to Extol in like a decade. That's a good band.
I actually, did you get through Deftones?
Yes.
I got through most of it, and I was just like, holy shit.
It's one of their best records.
It's really good.
It's one of their best. In this album, they have sustained this tone throughout the entire album. It is so good. It's like a wave.
It's eerie and it's different, but it's also still Deftones, and it's so fucking good. I gotta recommend it if
Better
you're
than
into
ever.
that band.
They're
Check
better,
that shit out.
Better than ever. That second song, Locked Club, is one of my favorites. I mean, the way he sounds on the last song, incredible. Cut Hands is incredible. This album is very, very good. I love it. And he's like sober now, so that's amazing. They're an amazing band. There's one of those bands I like to hear their interviews all the time. I love it. I'm very stoked on it. Definitely check it out. So, and I've also been listening to the remastered version of Machina by Smashing Pumpkins. Great record. Brandon, let them know where they can find you, please.
As always, you guys can find me at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Thanks so much for hanging out. Do not forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff for the algo. Get us up there on that likes list. I think we're just shy of 10K on Rumble. Throw us over the top on that. Thanks to everybody on YouTube for hanging out. We will see you guys again tomorrow for more weird-ass behavior. Shane, get us out of here.
Thank you guys so much. It was great to start the week with you all. Countdown to episode 100 on Thursday. Please like and share and subscribe. You guys have been doing that so much, and we are so grateful. And hope you have a great night. See you tomorrow. Bye.